Here is a number that should stop you cold. Amazon has openly admitted in public statements from its own executives that Prime shipping alone loses the company money. Not breaks even. Loses money year after year deliberately on purpose by design. And yet Prime is one of the most valuable pieces of Amazon's entire business. Arguably more valuable than the marketplace most people assume is the actual company. How does a company build an empire on a service that loses money every time you use it? The answer isn't a mistake, and it isn't charity. It's one of the most carefully engineered subscription strategies in modern business history. And almost none of the real profit comes from the 2-day shipping you think you're paying for. But that's only part of the story. Because to understand why Amazon wants you subscribed to Prime more than it wants you to buy any single product, we first need to understand a psychological trick so effective that it quietly reshapes how you shop without you ever noticing it happening. That trick is called the sunk cost effect. And Amazon didn't invent it, but few companies have ever applied it as ruthlessly or as profitably. Here's how it works. The moment you pay for a Prime membership, somewhere around $140 a year, your brain does something strange. It stops thinking of that payment as gone. Instead, it starts looking for ways to get value back out of it, which means every time you're about to buy something anywhere else, a small, almost invisible thought creeps in. I already paid for Prime shipping. Why would I pay for shipping somewhere else or wait longer somewhere else when I've already covered it here? This single psychological shift is worth more to Amazon than almost anything else in its entire strategy. And here's the twist most people never consider. Once that membership fee is paid, the marginal cost of shopping on Amazon instead of anywhere else feels like zero, even though you already spent real money to get there. The subscription isn't really selling you shipping. It's selling you a reason to stop comparison shopping altogether. Nobody expected this next part. Internal Amazon data, discussed publicly by company leadership over the years, has revealed that Prime members spend dramatically more per year than non-Prime customers shopping on the same platform, often multiple times more. That gap isn't a coincidence. It's the entire point of the subscription, and once you see the mechanism behind it, you can never unsee it again. Let's talk about why the shipping itself actually loses money in the first place, because this is where the strategy gets genuinely audacious. But rewind for a moment because the origin story here matters. When Amazon first launched Prime, the idea was considered borderline reckless inside the company itself. Charging a flat annual fee for unlimited 2-day shipping meant that the heaviest shoppers, the exact customers a normal retailer would want to reward least, would get the biggest discount on shipping costs relative to how much they used the service. A customer who ordered constantly would essentially make their per-package shipping cost drop towards zero, while Amazon kept absorbing the actual cost of getting each box to their door. Several executives reportedly worried the math simply wouldn't work, that the company was handing away money on its most active customers rather than its least active ones, which is the opposite of how most loyalty programs are built. The bet paid off for a reason that had nothing to do with shipping economics at all. It changed behavior at a scale nobody fully modeled in advance. Once free 2-day shipping was already paid for, customers didn't just keep shopping at the same rate. They started shopping more often, in smaller batches, for things they previously would have bought at a physical store instead. because the friction of "is this worth paying shipping for" simply disappeared. What looked like a shipping subsidy on paper turned out to be one of the most effective demand generation tools in retail history. Amazon operates one of the largest logistics networks on the planet: warehouses, delivery trucks, cargo planes. An operation that rivals dedicated shipping companies like UPS and FedEx in scale. Moving a package quickly, sometimes within hours, costs real money: fuel, labor, warehouse space, sorting infrastructure, all of it. When you order something small, a phone charger, a paperback book, and it arrives at your door the next day with free shipping attached, the actual cost of getting that item to you frequently exceeds what Amazon made selling it. On its own, that single transaction is often a loss. Wait, if individual purchases are frequently losing money on shipping costs alone, how is this not simply a company burning cash on every order? Here's the crazy part. Amazon isn't pricing Prime shipping to be profitable on any single transaction. It's pricing the entire membership as a loss leader for something much bigger sitting behind it. The same way a grocery store might sell milk near cost because it knows the shopper buying milk is about to fill an entire cart with everything else in the store. Except Amazon's version of that cart isn't a single shopping trip. It's every single purchase a customer makes for an entire year, sometimes for decades. This is where things get even more interesting. Because shipping isn't actually the product Amazon is really trying to sell you at all. Shipping is the bait. The real product is something else entirely, and it's been quietly built into your Prime membership the whole time. It's called the bundle, and it might be one of the smartest pieces of business engineering in the entire subscription economy. A Prime membership doesn't just include shipping. It includes a streaming video service with a growing library of movies, shows, and exclusive originals competing directly with Netflix. It includes music streaming, competing with Spotify. It includes photo storage, grocery discounts at Whole Foods, early access to deals, and a rotating list of extra perks that seems to expand every single year. Here's the part that should genuinely surprise you. Almost none of these individual services would be worth $140 a year on their own. And Amazon knows that. If you compared Prime Video to a dedicated streaming subscription, or Prime Music to a dedicated music subscription, neither one would win a head-to-head fight against a company built entirely around doing just that one thing well. But bundled together, stacked on top of the shipping benefit you already convinced yourself you needed, the entire package starts to feel like an obvious, easy decision. Even though you might only actively use 2 or 3 of those 5 or 6 included services. This is the exact same psychological trick streaming bundles and cable packages have used for decades, except Amazon applied it to something people already needed anyway: package delivery, and used that daily necessity as the anchor holding the entire bundle together. You didn't sign up for a video streaming service that happens to include shipping. You signed up for shipping that happens to include a video streaming service, and that framing changes everything about how willing you are to keep paying for it. Everything changed once Amazon realized something else about subscriptions that most retailers never fully grasp. A subscription doesn't just generate revenue, it generates something far more valuable long-term. A permanent, renewing relationship that resets the moment a customer might otherwise wander off and comparison shop somewhere else. Think about how traditional retail works. A customer walks into a store, buys something, walks out, and there's no guarantee they ever come back. Every single purchase is a fresh decision, a fresh opportunity for a competitor to win that customer instead. Subscriptions completely change that math. Once someone is enrolled in Prime, Amazon doesn't need to win their attention every single time they need something. It just needs to remain the path of least resistance. The app already open on their phone, the shipping already paid for, the habit already formed. This is where things went wrong for a lot of traditional retailers trying to compete with Amazon on price alone. You can't out-discount a company that has already convinced its customers the decision of where to shop was made months ago, the moment they renewed their membership, long before they ever needed to buy anything specific. This same logic explains one of Amazon's most surprising moves: buying Whole Foods, a physical grocery chain, years after the company had built its entire identity around online shopping. On the surface, that acquisition looked like Amazon simply diversifying into groceries. Underneath, it was another extension of the exact same subscription strategy. Prime members get exclusive discounts at Whole Foods checkout registers, discounts non-members simply don't see. Every trip to a physical grocery store became another small reminder that the membership was paying for itself. Another data point feeding Amazon's understanding of shopping habits that has nothing to do with clicking a mouse, and another reason to keep that annual renewal feeling justified, even for someone who barely orders packages online during a given month. It's worth briefly comparing this to another subscription-driven retail giant, Costco, because the contrast reveals exactly what makes Amazon's version of the strategy unique. Costco's membership model works by capping product markups and using the membership fee to fund artificially low prices across the entire store. A strategy built around trust and predictable savings on physical goods. Amazon's version isn't really about discounting products at all. Prime members frequently pay the same price for an item as anyone else browsing the same listing. The value isn't a lower price. It's convenience, speed, and a bundle of unrelated services stacked together specifically to make the membership feel indispensable, regardless of whether pricing itself changes at all. Two completely different subscription philosophies, both extraordinarily profitable, aimed at the exact same underlying goal: a customer who stops seriously considering anywhere else. But here's the twist that ties this entire strategy to something even bigger than retail. Prime membership data doesn't just tell Amazon what you bought. It tells Amazon almost everything about how you live. What shows you watch, what music you listen to, what groceries you buy, how often you reorder household basics, which seasons you spend the most, and which categories you're likely to spend more in, if given the right nudge at the right moment. That data becomes one of the most valuable assets in the entire company, feeding recommendation algorithms that get better at predicting what you'll want before you fully know it yourself, feeding advertising decisions, feeding inventory and warehouse placement decisions, so products you're likely to want are already sitting closer to your delivery zone before you even search for them. A subscriber isn't just a recurring source of revenue. They're a recurring source of behavioral data that makes every other part of Amazon's business, retail, advertising, logistics, run more efficiently over time. Let's walk through what this actually looks like with real numbers, because the abstract version of this story is easy to nod along to, but the specific version is where it really clicks. Imagine Amazon has roughly 200 million Prime members worldwide, each paying an average membership fee somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 to $140 a year. That alone generates tens of billions of dollars in pure subscription revenue, arriving with relatively predictable recurring reliability, the kind of revenue every business craves because it doesn't depend on convincing someone to make a new buying decision from scratch. Now compare that to the shipping cost side of the equation. If a portion of those members order on average 1 to 2 packages a week, and even a modest fraction of those orders individually cost Amazon more to fulfill quickly than the item's margin covers, shipping losses across that many members and that many packages easily run into the billions of dollars a year. On the surface, that looks like a business quietly hemorrhaging money. But remember the earlier number. Prime members spend dramatically more annually than non-members shopping the exact same marketplace. That increased spending, multiplied across 200 million subscribers, generates additional marketplace revenue and fulfillment fees that can outweigh the shipping losses many times over, especially once you factor in how much of that additional spending flows through Amazon's own high-margin categories: electronics, accessories, home goods, and increasingly, its own private label products competing directly with the name brands sitting next to them on the digital shelf. So the shipping loss isn't a flaw in the plan. It's the acquisition cost, the price Amazon is willing to pay to guarantee that once someone is inside the ecosystem, spending goes up, comparison shopping goes down, and the relationship renews automatically, year after year, often without the customer even actively thinking about the decision to keep paying. It helps to picture what a single household actually looks like inside this system over time. Imagine a family joins Prime mainly for the free shipping around the holidays, paying roughly $140 for the year. In the months that follow, the convenience of already paid for shipping nudges them toward ordering paper towels, batteries, and pet food through Amazon, instead of picking them up during a regular errand run. The included video service becomes the default choice on a slow weeknight, simply because it's already there, already paid for, no additional decision required. A grocery order or two flows through Whole Foods delivery, unlocking the member-only discount without the family ever comparing it against a local grocery store's weekly flyer. None of these individual choices feels like a big decision in the moment. Each one is small, low friction, barely worth thinking about, but stacked across an entire year, across 200 million households making similarly small, low-friction choices, the aggregate shift in spending behavior becomes one of the most powerful revenue engines in modern retail, built almost entirely out of decisions too small for any single customer to notice they were making differently. There's one more layer to this worth understanding, and it involves something most subscription businesses eventually run into: price increases. Amazon has raised the price of Prime membership multiple times since it first launched the service, each time facing a wave of public complaints and each time seeing remarkably little actual cancellation as a result. This isn't a coincidence either. It's a direct result of everything we've already covered. Once a customer has fully integrated Prime into their shopping habits, their entertainment habits, and their household routines, the psychological and practical cost of canceling starts to feel larger than the price increase itself. Canceling means losing the shipping speed you've gotten used to, losing access to shows you've started watching, losing the grocery discounts, and starting the entire comparison shopping process over again from scratch, across every category you buy from. Very few people are willing to rebuild that convenience from zero over what often amounts to a few extra dollars a month. This is where things get genuinely uncomfortable if you really think it through. A subscription that starts as a convenient shortcut can quietly become something closer to a default setting in someone's life, one that keeps getting slightly more expensive over time, specifically because the company understands exactly how much friction stands between you and actually canceling it. This is where things get genuinely uncomfortable if you really think it through. A subscription that starts as a convenient shortcut can quietly become something closer to a default setting in someone's life, one that keeps getting slightly more expensive over time, specifically because the company understands exactly how much friction stands between you and actually canceling it. This dynamic also explains why competitors have struggled so hard to peel Prime members away. Even with aggressive pricing, Walmart built its own version of the same idea, bundling free shipping with fuel discounts and streaming access, betting that a lower price point could win over price-sensitive shoppers already inside its stores. And it has found real success with certain segments, but it's fighting an uphill battle against something money alone struggles to buy: years of accumulated habit. A customer who has spent a decade with Amazon already knows exactly how the search bar behaves, exactly how fast a package usually arrives in their specific zip code, and exactly which shows they've already started watching on Prime Video. Switching isn't just a financial decision at that point. It's relearning an entire habit loop, and most people, most of the time, will pay a small premium in inconvenience avoidance rather than go through that friction. Even when a competitor's offer looks objectively comparable on paper, knowing all of this changes how a subscriber should actually think about their own membership. The biggest mistake most Prime members make is treating the annual renewal as an automatic decision, rather than an active one. Letting the card on file simply get charged year after year without ever checking whether their actual usage still justifies the cost. The second mistake is ignoring how much of the bundle goes unused, paying for video streaming, music, and photo storage every year, while only ever touching the shipping benefit, without ever comparing what an unbundled version of just that one service would actually cost elsewhere. The third mistake is assuming membership guarantees the lowest price on every item, when in reality, Prime often guarantees speed and convenience, not necessarily the best deal available if you were willing to compare prices across other retailers first. People who use Prime most effectively tend to do the opposite. They periodically audit which parts of the bundle they're actually using, treating unused perks the same way they'd treat an unused gym membership add-on, worth canceling or renegotiating rather than quietly tolerating. They separate the emotional pull of "I already paid for this" from the actual math of whether continued membership still makes sense at current usage levels. And they remain willing to price check occasionally even as members, understanding that convenience and best price are not always the same thing, even inside a system specifically designed to make that distinction feel unimportant. None of this makes Amazon uniquely villainous. Nearly every subscription business on Earth is chasing the exact same outcome: low churn, rising lifetime value, and a customer relationship durable enough to survive the occasional price increase without triggering a mass exodus. What makes Amazon's version of this strategy so effective is the scale at which it operates, and the sheer number of daily habits it has managed to attach itself to at once: shipping, streaming, music, groceries, cloud storage, all bundled under a single renewing payment that most people set on autopay and rarely think about again. So here's the reveal that ties every piece of this story together. Amazon Prime was never really designed to be a shipping upgrade. It was designed to be a psychological anchor, a single subscription decision made once a year that quietly influences hundreds of smaller decisions throughout that entire year. Where to shop first, what to watch tonight, which grocery delivery service to use, whether it's even worth checking a competitor's price before clicking buy. The shipping loses money on purpose because the shipping was never the product being sold. The product being sold was your default behavior, purchased once, renewed automatically, and reinforced every single time a package shows up at your door faster than you expected. There is a broader lesson buried inside this strategy that extends well beyond Amazon itself, and it's worth sitting with for a moment. The most successful subscription businesses in the modern economy have almost all figured out the same underlying truth. The actual advertised benefit Free shipping, ad-free streaming, discounted groceries is rarely the true product. The true product is the removal of friction from a decision you'd otherwise have to make repeatedly. And once that friction disappears, price sensitivity disappears along with it, at least for a much longer stretch of time than most companies could ever hope for through advertising alone. So the next time that Prime badge shows up next to a product promising fast free delivery, you'll understand exactly what's actually happening underneath that little orange check mark. You're not just seeing a shipping perk, you're seeing the visible tip of a business strategy built specifically to make sure you never seriously consider clicking away, one convenient, slightly losing money delivery at a time. If this changed how you see that little orange Prime logo, subscribe. New videos breaking down the hidden economics behind the businesses and subscriptions running quietly in the background of your everyday life every single week.